Hi, this is Boilermaker Banter, episode 4. I am your host, Brian, and I'm here with my co-host, my brother Brett. Say hi, Brett.
Hello, everybody.
So, what's on the agenda for today? What are we going to chat
Well,
with people?
uh, I'd say we recap the last game of the season, Wisconsin at home. And next up, I just can't believe to kick it off that we're done with the regular season.
Yeah, it's crazy how after last year's debacle in the tournament, we could not wait for this year to come to see, how things were going to change. And yeah, now it's like over. Now we're
Yeah.
ready for the Big Ten tournament, and it's getting close to NCAA, and so it is getting a little bit more excited. I would say a little bit more intense, I think my feelings
Yeah.
are, right?
Yeah, I'm glad you're saying intense because we can, as we go through this, we both have remarked about Zach Edey and how he looks so much more intense staring down guys. He certainly is on a mission. So what do you think of the Wisconsin game?
Well, I thought we would, at home senior night, last game in Mackey Arena for Edie, and I would assume, well, I guess we all would assume all the seniors, but technically they could all come back other than Jones. But I thought we would win by at least 15, 18 points. But it did kind of seem like we were getting there. And then at the very end, for some reason, Painter wanted to throw in the seniors, which I get it, the seniors on the bench, and that kind of knocked our double-digit lead all the way down to 8, and we could have scored more. I think if we would have left everybody in, we would have pushed it more to 16, 18, because we were at 16. But, I understand that. I think after Edie went down with his injury and then Smith went down with his injury, Painter was thinking, let's get these guys out of here. Even the last couple of minutes, right? And just let's save face, get the win, and, go from there, right?
Yeah.
You just want to make sure we're not hurt.
I know. How scary was that? That our two top players, both. Oh my gosh. That was just, I was so glad when Smith went in the locker room. I thought, oh my gosh, but it looked like a low ankle, and then for him to come back out and get back on the floor. Oh my gosh! I mean, boy.
We know, just like all the athletes that are following us or will follow us. We've had plenty of ankle sprains. I've had, I'm sure, at least 10 of them in my life. Some of them have been really bad to the point where I could not get off the floor for 2 hours. But then weeks later, you're totally, completely fine. Yeah. And these guys are way younger. They're in way better shape. It was great to see, like you said, that they both were able to get up and get out there and keep playing. So they're going to be okay. They're going to be a little sore today, but they're going to be in the training room icing up their ankles, rehabbing it, but they're going to be fine. It's good to sprain an ankle, believe it or not, because if you do not sprain the ankle, you end up injuring your knee. And we know firsthand with Robbie Hummel when he blew out his knee right at this time, during the season when we were preseason, or we were top 5 in the country going into the Big Ten tournament. And I believe it was in the Big Ten tournament or the one at the end of the season where he blew out his knee. And that was it. And so it did make every Purdue fan yesterday cringe when you saw both of those guys go down. And but I think it's a wake up call for Painter now in the Big Ten tournament. I think if things go awry and it doesn't go as we expect or Painter expects, you could probably see him taking those guys out early, right? Saving them for the March Madness.
Yeah. So. As I'm going through, and we can just cover this real quickly, I think what I'd like to do is just recap two things in particular from this game and tie them into what's going to be success going forward. The first one is Fletcher Lawyer. Holy cow. In the last few games, ever since you had someone post a question about Fletcher Lawyer being vital, all of a sudden he's back. He went 5 for 5, 2 for
Yep.
2 from 3. So he is just unbelievable. And then the second one, the one that we talk about consistently, is Mason Gillis. And
Yeah.
he was 2 for 4. He took 4 shots, both threes, or all
Yep.
threes, made 2 of them. We need that guy. He needs to shoot more. They certainly need to get him to shoot more. Braden Smith was 1 for 4 from 3, 4 for 16
Yep.
overall. But yeah, I'm so glad Fletcher Lawyer. He's going to be vital going forward. And Mason Gillis, how can they get
Yeah.
him to take some more shots?
Well, that's the thing, because the stat with Gillis, he is the most efficient offensive player in the country. He shoots just right around 50% from 3-point and 54% from the field. He shoots 85% from the free throw line. His stats are number one efficiency in the country as an offensive player. And yeah, it's just like you and I always say, if you have these types of numbers, he needs to shoot more. He needs more volume. And like we said earlier, or we were talking privately earlier, he needs to shoot 10 times at least in a game when he's out there. If he's hitting almost 50% of his threes and over 50% of every shot he shoots, he just needs the numbers. Give him 10, 12 shots in that game when he's out there. That's 12 to 18 points or so that he's getting for you. And he plays,
I'll say, Yeah, I also want to make a comment about minutes played. We know that TKR, he starts. He played 15 minutes. Mason Gillis played 24.
Yeah.
So it's certain you're seeing this come to fruition on earning that time on the floor. Ren, he had the first Illinois game. He had this brilliance. He just really showed his stuff, and he's just been so inconsistent. Gillis is just constantly very consistent. So those are my big takeaways. Do you have any particular takeaways that would lead to this coming this week and in the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, so I'm looking at really quickly, then we'll get away from this because everybody's already seen the game. When you look at Wisconsin's, their two main scorers are Wall and Storr, but Blackwell, the guard, he went off for 18 points. You had Storr with 17, Wall was 17.
Yeah.
Wall and Blackwell were way above their average. Wall averaged 11.7 points a game. He had 17. Blackwell only averages 8.5. He had 18 points in this game. Storr averages 16.2, so he was just about at his average. So we gave up two guys from Wisconsin's team. We gave them more than their average, which kind of is the story with Purdue. They usually give up their best player on the other team. He gets way above his average for some reason. But then the rest of our offense tends to, take it away, of course. You look at Purdue, we had Edey 25 points, Lawyer 15, Jones 13, Smith 10, Gillis 6. So that's not bad for five of those guys. I think, like you said, that what's going to need to happen, Lawyer's going to have to keep rising, right, to his form, and we need to see Gillis shoot more. And I want to see him do more in this tournament. I think in the Big Ten tournament, hopefully Painter is talking to him about we need to get you more volume shots. And maybe they're saving them for the NCAA tournament when they absolutely need them, but I think you need them right now.
Yeah.
Right? Let's see him get his confidence.
Yeah. To speak about Gillis, he's a tier 2. Our tier 1 guys scored 50. Our tier 2 scored 19. Tier 3 scored 9. And for the 78. First had 5 points. So that which is nice because we look forward to next year. But we've seen some sparks in him as well, some good footwork, some good efficiency out there. So I'm glad to see him getting some points. Heidi had 0 points. A little disappointed in that, but we have the tournament coming up, and I think Heidi is going to be very necessary because we talk about our tier scoring. And in
Yep.
order to go deep in the NCAA tournament, we can't have our tier one being relied upon for 60, 65 points.
Yeah.
They've got this. I'm glad that this was more balanced. Tier one at 50, tier two at 19. I'm glad because we talk about this that we need scoring from our tier three because that's what UConn does in Houston. They get balanced scoring throughout all their top
Yep.
guys. Purdue has been a little bit lopsided where oftentimes our tier one will get 60, 65, and we
Yep.
only score 80 points. That means that the tier two and tier three are hardly scoring, and you can't do that in the
Yep.
NCAA tournament. You certainly have to allow your tier one guys to rest and allow your tier two guys to step up and get that 20 and your tier
Yeah.
three guys to get in there. So yeah.
Yeah. I think lately we've been showing that we're consistent with a lot of these guys that we were starting to get a little worrisome on, like lawyers starting to come back. I think you can rely on Jones to get some things for you. And I think Gillis, hopefully this is a good thing for him to just spark his confidence I'm going to shoot a little bit more, in the Big Ten tournament. But I think, we get those guys going. Lawyers, his confidence. Gillis, that's going to be huge. And then, Heidi and Colvin. One thing about Colvin, he didn't play much, but he had a great defensive play in that game. And that is what we've been looking for out of him. And I think
he
of that,
had some good defense a couple games ago, and then he just hasn't been able to get his minutes. But when he does, he's lately he has certainly made the most of them. And when it comes to like the Big Ten tournament, NCAA tournament, I can certainly see, hopefully, our tier one guys get more rest and these guys be able to come in and either hold their own, maintain a lead, or even build upon that lead.
Yep.
So
I think so we play Friday night, the winner of Michigan State and Minnesota.
Yeah.
So
and it's in Minnesota, right?
It's going to be, every game's going to be tough. We know how it is. You don't know what the Painter philosophy is going to be for these games. Is he going to go out and try to win the Big Ten tournament? I'm sure he is. Just like any team wants to win their tournament. Yeah.
Just going to keep rolling.
It'd be just nice to see Lawyer and Gillis and Heidi start really kind of showing up in the tournament right before March Madness,
Yeah, I'm trying to think who we would match up the best. Minnesota, the thing about Minnesota is that they have a good stretch four, and it's almost going to be a home court advantage for them.
Yeah, and they're going to
win. State, they're good.
Yeah, both teams need to win.
Yeah,
they need to win as many games.
About Michigan State. If they want to get in the tournament, they've got to win this thing. They've got to win the Big Ten tournament. They're going to be out there hungry. So
and then you just wonder how Purdue's going to be. They've already won the Big Ten outright. They're already a number one seed in the tournament.
Overall, number one seed right now.
Yeah, they're holding on to that. So they need to win the Big Ten tournament in order to keep that overall number one, unless Connecticut and Houston lose theirs, right? They have to lose in it. But Purdue, no matter what they do now, they've already locked at least one of the Midwest number one seed.
Yeah. So
right.
Yeah. The interesting thing is that Tennessee right now is the fourth number one seed, and Purdue's already beaten them.
Yep. And they just lost.
Yeah. It's interesting. You look at these top teams, and Purdue has beaten so many of them on that list already, which just shows that their non-conference schedule is just so tough, and they just ran the table in the non-conference.
Yeah. So Tennessee was, I think, the fourth number one. They just got beat. And now I think they're thinking about maybe moving North Carolina up since they had a big win at Duke. So it could be North Carolina, could be Arizona, could be Tennessee. I think it's going to come down to their tournaments and see how well they do. Yeah. But it's going to, but the top three ones, Houston, UConn, and Purdue, they're solid in their ones. It's just who's going to be the overall number one. That's what we're playing for.
Yeah, but as we look forward to past we talk, you and I talk about this. The overall goal is to the NCAA tournament. I would hope, what I'm hoping to see in the Big Ten tournament, I hope to see a lot of tier 2, tier 3 guys playing,
Yeah.
and seeing Edey and Smith and Lawyer cutting their minutes down. Smith has been playing an incredible amount of minutes, almost 40 minutes a game.
Yeah.
Edey's been playing a lot of minutes. And Lawyer has been playing more and more minutes because he's been doing so well. I really hope in the Big Ten tournament, because last year, Brian, remember Penn State, that was, oh my gosh, it was just right to the wire. So,
Oh, yeah.
so I hope this year they don't have that. I'm hoping that they can just not necessarily coast through it, but be able to rest their tier 1
Yeah.
guys and have the tier 2 guys have the numbers, the stats on the tiers really balance out to the Big Ten tournament, where you just see maybe 45 from tier 1,
Yeah.
25 from tier 2, and 20 from tier 3. That would
Yeah.
be wonderful.
And even if they just win by 1 or 2 points in the Big Ten tournament, playing that way, just get everybody in there playing. That's all that matters, right? We're not looking to blow anybody out in the Big Ten tournament. We just want to play these tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 guys as much as we can, get them ready for tournament play, 1-game scenarios, right? And rest the starters, tier 1 guys that you're saying, and hopefully go into the tournament, Big Ten or NCAA tournament, ready to go. Everybody's confident, and because that's what it's going to take for Purdue. So we just have to go in there, be confident, and believe in yourselves, believe in each other, and that's all they need, right?
Yeah.
That's all they need. If they play to their potential, they're going to be okay.
Yeah. Let me ask you. We hinted this. I hinted at this beginning of this. Zach Edey. I have not seen him stare down other players like he has lately. I mean, oh my goodness, when he had that monster block against Hawkins and Hawkins went to the floor, he just, oh my gosh, he almost every single game, he just gives people this look like he's on a mission.
Yeah, I that's the thing. He is on a mission. After the Wisconsin game, they retired his number up in the rafters, which was pretty sweet. It's the first time any current basketball player for Purdue has ever had their number retired. Usually it always happens when they're done playing, years later.
Yeah.
But it's the first time a current player who's still playing, obviously, got his number retired. So he even said in his speech that their work is not done yet. And that's what he ended with. We are not done yet. And you could tell they all want the national championship. They're not, overly excited that we're the Big Ten champs. It's great to have that, but you could just see it. It's different. They're more hungry for it. And even Edey now is way more hungry. They want to win a national championship, and they believe that they can do it, and they believe that they will if they all stick together and keep their confidence. And I think that's him showing his team, look, I am going to be dominant. I'm going to do the best I can. You guys follow suit. We're going to be confident. We're going to get out there and show these guys we're better than them. And that's what Edey's doing. Like, I'm manning up. You can't stop me. I'm going to stop you. Never saw that last year.
Yeah. Not to mention the fact that he is certainly better this year than he was last year.
Oh, yeah.
His footwork is definitely better. And it's one of the things when you talk about Edey, the fouls, it seems, we talk about this. He draws a lot of fouls, but then also there are a lot of no calls. I'm hoping that he can balance that mentally, because there are many times that he has a bad shot, and whether it's the result of a no call or he just had a bad shot or was well defended, he seems to it seems to get him, and he turns and he looks at the refs and put his hands up. The thing that I would like him not to do that for us because it motivates the crowd against him
Yeah.
because he's Zach Edey. He's the best player in the country. And for him to take a shot and then have whatever happen and it's a no call, you have to assume it was good defense. And then for him to do that, people start, it now motivates fans
Yeah.
to turn against him. So that's the only thing that I want to say about where I would like to see Zach kind of modify his game a little bit
Yeah.
is when he's reacting to those what he thinks are missed fouls.
Yeah. I think, I think it'll be okay. I think it's just him being excited. He's getting close to the end of his career and he wants to just he wants things to be fair for him at the, in its last run here. He just caught up in the moment. I think it's
Yeah.
all going to be okay. So lastly, question for you, hypothetical question.
Yeah.
We know that the seniors are all done. Edie says he is done. Other than Jones, they can all come back. Will any of them come back? If so, what is the circumstances that make them want to come back?
Are you talking about the seniors?
Yeah. Do any of them come back no matter what? In other words, if we somehow win a national championship, does anybody come back? If we get to the Final Four, or if we get knocked out early, what's your opinion on any of that?
I think, I question why Zach declared already that this was his last year. Maybe he's just felt it's just time, and that's fine. Other than Zach and Jones, if they win the whole thing, like for me, if Gillis can come back, that would be nice. They have some good talent coming in, and they have these young guys. You have Smith and Lawyer have already solidified their spots. Filling that gap, I'm hoping that Heidi steps up his defense and Colvin as well. Gillis is the one guy. He's that X factor.
Yeah.
He would be the one guy that I think the question is who would hope would come back.
Yeah.
On this team that's out there right now, outside of Zach Edey, it would be Gillis because he's clutch. There are so many times he gets his points late in games.
Yeah.
And Purdue needs it when they're only up 3 or 5. Gillis, boom. So Gillis for me would be that one guy.
Yeah, he has his. He's getting his master's degree, or he already has it, and so I don't know what his reasonings would be to come back, other than let's go do it again. So
well,
with Zach,
what about for Gillis? What if he did with the hopes of going to the NBA?
Yeah, maybe
just
that
working
would
on
be
a few
a way.
things, just tweaking some things in the off season. He comes back better on defense, and his shot has gone up. I mean, he's 6'6".
Yeah,
he's got the drive. That's what I would see.
Yeah, he's got, I think, an NBA style range of shooting the ball, and in the NBA, if you can shoot threes and make them, and he's athletic and big enough to maybe be a stretch 2 or whatever positions they have. I think, and he plays.
He just doesn't go in for the
defense,
dunks, right?
Right. But in the NBA, they allow those lanes to open up for showboat. So you never know. You see some guys out of college, they're like, in college they're okay, but they're athletic, and they get in the NBA and they average 20 points a game because it's a totally different league. It's all about athletes and the fans wanting to watch athletes. But okay, so we've got the winner of Michigan State and Minnesota next Friday, Big Ten tournament.
Be a
hopefully
good
we see
game.
some good things, right?
Yep.
And hopefully we'll be able to play on Saturday, and we'll go from there and get prepared for March Madness. So anything else you want to say
No.
before we end it?
They're performing better today than they were last year at this time.
Yep.
So, and
Yeah,
that what happened last year won't happen. They
yeah,
built themselves around being a very solid team, regardless of whether Zach's getting double or triple team. So,
yep.
I'm excited. I'm excited for the next 9 games.
Yeah. Yep. We have 9 games. If we go undefeated, it's 9 more
Yeah.
to win a national championship. We got to win 9 more games in a row.
Yeah. Well,
So,
that'll be 11-0, 11 in a row, and that'd be nice.
oh yeah. So, but
Yeah.
okay.
All right.
Well, that's everything. We'll get to the next one after Friday. We'll see how that game goes. And any of you people in the comments, give us some questions. Anything you want us to talk about, discuss next time, we will. And other than that, boiler up, and we will see you guys next time.
All right. Hammer down. Go
Hammer
Boilers.
down. See ya.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.